Okay, this is Grandpa David, and we are going to be going live with the Facebook Live that I am going to be doing right now, entitled Triple Self Portrait. So I'm going to face the YouTube camera towards my Facebook Live camera. Interesting. Okay. Live video is starting. Is it? There it goes. It looks like it started. Okay. Good afternoon, uh, Grandpa David, and we're going to have some fun today with a triple self portrait. Something that caught my attention in September of 1960. And there's been interesting transformations of the triple self portrait in my lifetime, and I wanted to share those with you today. So, if you were around in September of 1960, you might remember Norman Rockwell's triple self portrait. And I certainly remembered it. It's just something that caught my attention. The artist is looking in a mirror, and we see the image in the mirror. We see the back of the artist, and we see an interpretation uh, of what the artist sees. Well, I this didn't really hit home to me until about um, let's see, it was in 1995, I think, somewhere around 1995. Uh, I went to Paris on business, and one of the things that I absolutely had to do. Uh, oh, that was the sound of the meanest domestic bird that I've ever observed over the years. It was the blue jay, and I hear the blue jay and 11 other bird sounds twice a day, 24 by 7. It is the 25th anniversary of the bird clock, the original bird clock. I actually invested in the original bird clock 25 years ago. So when I saw that this was the 25th anniversary, I said, I have to update myself. I have no idea where, well, I have some ideas where the first edition uh, ended up. But uh, I've been a bird watcher several times in my life from my porch or whatever, and uh, never much of a bird. I would hear the birds, of course, but never paid attention too much to, well, that's the sound of a. Well, I'm trying, no, I'm not trying to learn them. I hear them and just part of life. Okay. Back to Norman Rockwell. It wasn't until about 35 years later, when I was in Paris, and I actually, on two separate visits, saw my favorite uh, painting of all time, the Mona Lisa. I've always been fascinated by it. Probably my fascination, I don't know, might have started about the same time. I don't remember. I was 11. I was 11 years old in 1960, I think. Uh, and when I saw the, when I went to Paris to see the, and I saw Mona Lisa, as I had headset on, and you could hear in English what was the story of what you were saying, and as if you were on tour. So you just put these earphones on. Well, anyways, it was then that I first learned that the real story of Mona Lisa is told behind the portrait itself, the vicissitudes of French living, vicissitudes. Love that way. So the reason I bring that up, the artist's portrayal of what he is looking at in the mirror is something totally different than what is getting up on the canvas or whatever the surface might be. Plus, there are other pictures, and this up here has five different face portraits of Norman Rockwell and famous artists over here. There's a real story behind uh, the Saturday Evening Post. And you are a baby boomer, perhaps you remember some of those other covers. Uh, Obviously, Norman Rockwell had a style all of his own, and you see a Rockwell, and you know that it's a Norman Rockwell. Okay, it must have been about maybe 10 years ago. I was in a flea market not too far from my home back then, and saw this for sale. That's not a triple self portrait. There's one, two, three, four. There's five Mickey Mouses on that cover. And that was in November of 78. Uh, Definitely mimicking, if you will, triple self portrait, but certainly something extremely different, new perspective. And I actually bought this. This is the original magazine wrapped in cellophane. I actually bought this, if you can believe it, for $5. Oh my goodness! I was meant to have that for $5. I've been offered quite a bit more. Please don't remove our covering. That's for assistance. Just buy the thing. Okay, fast forward to, um, let's see, August. It was in 2000. This thing isn't even dated. It was in 2011. I had participated in this book project, and you've heard me talk about it. Uh, I was in a project. There were 34 other authors in the same book. We each had a chapter. The entire book was under the umbrella of Brian Tracy. It just so happens I have been following Brian Tracy for the longest of anybody. For years, I've been reading and studying, and what a thrill it was. So when I heard the possibility of being able to participate in a book project with him. And I paid to get into the project. It almost didn't matter because it was the realization of something very, very special to me. Wow. We wrote the book, and there was a whole thing to go with it. And we went out to Hollywood. There was a there was an ad in uh, USA Today. It's part of the project. A lot of money invested, but it absolutely produced desired results, and it was a tremendous return on investment. So knowing that the I was going out to Hollywood to get a Quill Award as a part of as a part of the project, and Brian Tracy was going to be there. And I knew that he would be addressing our group, and we'd have some sessions with him. But I was looking for. I knew I was going to create an opportunity for he and I to go one on one. I'm going to make that happen, and I did. And I spent about between 45 and minutes and an hour with him. I presented him that this is my copy of what I presented to him. Here's me presenting it to him, and there's a caricature of myself. The same artist did a. I asked him to do a caricature of Brian Tracy holding two of his books, two of my books. Here was the actual cover of the book, and then I presented this to him. Thank you, Brian, for being my most important life business mentor. You greatly impacted my life forever. So that was a pretty intense moment, and um, obviously one that is very near and dear to me. Okay, so fast forward, and there's another occurrence, another happening. This happened a little over 3 years ago. This is a picture of my second oldest granddaughter. In that picture, she is 3. Today, she is 6. And I'm going to see her next Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. This time next week, I'll be with her. Okay, so she was visiting her great grandmother. Oh, that light is shining on it. She's visiting her great grandmother, my mother, Evelyn. Okay, so Evelyn, my granddaughter, is holding a picture of my mother, her great grandmother, when she was the same age, when she was 3 years old, and sitting in the background is my mother, and at the time she was 95 years old. And that was probably one of the last real, I mean, where mom was pretty much herself that was taken. So what is that? Is that a moment in time or what? There's only one that would up this one. Only one picture, and that would be if we could capture a moment where Grandpa David was great Grandpa David. That would be a picture to capture, and somehow, hopefully, we'll capture it in my lifetime. It's been fun talking, sharing with you today. It's obviously something that started a long time ago. Well, over 50 years ago, 60 years ago. So who knows? 60 years ago. 60 years ago. Exactly 60 years. And has progressed with different things that have happened in my lifetime throughout the years. Thank you for your time today. And next time that I wanted to make sure the camera's actually rolling. Next time that we get together, as my friend from 50 years ago used to say, Amy Williams used to say, next time may very well be the best time. Take care. Have a good day. And this is the end of, oh, I can do it with my camera. And this is the end of my YouTube. We finished Facebook Live. So thank you for your time today. You can, you're actually seeing this. This video is on websites, web landing pages that I have. It's inside of LinkedIn. It'll be probably posted in in somewhere in Facebook again. Who I don't know, but thank you for your time today, and come back again.